Hey guys, how's it going? So today I want to do a review of the Google Pixel 4 XL. Just a quick disclaimer, Google did send this phone to me for free, but they didn't ask me to say anything, to mention anything. They didn't send me any script to read to you guys. They didn't even require me to make a video. They just simply said, hey, if you want, make a video, share with your subscribers, all your friends and everything. So yeah, but this review is not paid. They didn't send me any money for it. They just simply asked me if I wanted the phone. So this review is going to be very honest. I have a lot of thoughts to say about this phone. So yeah, let's get started. So the Google Pixel 4 XL is Google's idea as to what Android should be. And I love it. Many people don't like stock Android because it doesn't offer as many customizations as some other skins. But if you want a really clean looking design, a really clean looking phone, and a very clean looking UI, yeah, look no further. This is it right here. Now this year, Google did change the design of the phone, and I'll be honest, when I first saw the leaks a few months ago or a few years ago, whenever the leaks came out for the Google Pixel 4, I thought it was kind of ugly. I just wasn't a fan of like a small chin here, but a big forehead here. I just thought like it looked very top heavy. It just didn't look quite good. But from using this phone for about a week now, I can definitely say it's actually growing on me, man. The design of this phone is actually super clean. It's very simple. It doesn't look maybe as futuristic as some of the Galaxies out there, but this is a very clean looking phone. I recommend any of you guys who are curious to go to your local store and actually feel it in the hand. It feels very premium, so good job, Google. The back of the phone is glass, even though it doesn't look like it or it doesn't even feel like it. It has this like kind of coating on it that kind of makes it feel like rubber almost. The sides of the phone are aluminum, and again, it has that coating on it that also kind of makes it feel like rubber. It feels super good to use without a case. This is the only phone that I can remember in a long time that I can comfortably use without a case and not worry about like it slipping out of my hands. This phone is super grippy, way more grippy than the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max in my opinion. It's 9 a.m. I need a Red Bull. Now personally, my favorite color, of course, Panda. I just love the way the white goes with the black camera cutout and the black borders, and that like out of nowhere, just a random color, the orange like button. It just looks very nice. Again, in the renders and whenever you're even watching this video on YouTube, it doesn't look that good, but I really recommend you guys going to a store and picking this thing up and looking at it and just feeling the back. Trust me, you're more or less gonna change your mind on this phone. It feels very good in the hands. Now the screen of the phone is very nice and it's good to look at. It is a Quad HD panel with 90 Hertz, but I will say, adaptive 90 Hertz is very, very aggressive. Most of the time, you're gonna be on 60 Hertz rather than 90 Hertz. Now, Google did state that they're gonna be pushing out a software update, so the phone is gonna be more balanced between 60 and 90, but at the moment, as of making this video, it's definitely, I would say, at least in my usage and my lighting scenario, because even lighting can change the way the phone's refresh rate works. I don't know. For me, I can definitely say about 75% of the day, it's at 60 Hertz. But if you go into developer settings, you can force 90. But for me, that really did a big drain on the battery. So do that at your own will. Now, the screen of the phone is good, but it does not get bright. And that may be a deal breaker for a lot of people. When I spend time outside, I find myself really like struggling to see the screen, and yeah, I find myself going into the settings panel and try to put up the brightness all the way, only to find out that the brightness is already on max. That's happened a lot of times. It just doesn't get that bright whatsoever. And at first I thought it was a 90 Hertz issue because most 90 Hertz phones aren't that bright to begin with. But I got the OnePlus 7T yesterday, by the way, subscribe for a review. And this thing is way more brighter. Like at first, maybe I got used to the 4XL brightness. Maybe I got used to it. I was like, it ain't that bad. I turned this bad boy on. It was like looking into the sun. Like this thing gets bright compared to this. So if that's an issue for you, again, I recommend going to a store and looking at it for yourself, because I'm telling you, it's okay. It's not a huge deal breaker for me personally, but I know for a lot of people it is. So let's talk about battery life. Now I have the XL version, obviously, so this comes with a 3700 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty good on paper. But some people are saying it's lasting 8 hours of screen on time. Some people are saying 3 hours. I'm kind of in the middle. I took some notes here so I don't mess up. So if I use adaptive 90 Hertz, the screen lasts me, or the phone lasts me about 4 hours and 45 minutes of screen on time. That's with adaptive 90 Hertz and motion sense turned on. If I use forced 90 Hertz, it lasts me about 4 hours of screen on time. And if I use 60 Hertz, about 5 hours and 40 minutes. Not that good, but if you guys want to save a lot of battery and you do not use motion sense, I recommend turning motion sense off. Honestly, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later, but if you don't use motion sense, turn it off and you will see a huge increase in your battery. Because at the moment with motion sense turned off and using adaptive 90 Hertz, adaptive smoothness, whatever they call it, I'm getting just a little over 6 hours of screen on time, which is acceptable, but I have to turn off one of the biggest features of the phone. I wish Google maybe just put in like a 25-watt charger instead of 18. I mean, that could have probably helped offset the bad battery life. Now, the speaker quality on the 4XL is, wow. It's good, man. Google, you nailed it this year with the speaker quality. I mean, here's a quick comparison against the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the Google Pixel 4 XL. It's pretty damn good, ain't it? Now the actual speakerphone quality is, I would say it's the closest to iPhone as I've ever tried. Whenever you're talking to someone on speakerphone, the phone can be really kind of, anywhere around you and they'll hear you pretty good without a lot of background noise, and you will hear them too pretty good. So again, because the speakers are really loud and clear. So I have no problems with this phone in terms of call quality, in terms of speakerphone quality. Google really nailed it this year, because the Google Pixel 3 XL, I didn't have it, but I know a lot of people had issues with the volume and just the quality of sound. Now, the cameras this year are a letdown in my opinion, and the opinion of many, many, many others. There is no ultra wide camera, and that is disappointing. Even though I got the phone for free, that should still tell you how disappointed I am. Google, come on, what are you doing?
Just sitting here laughing at my own jokes. I can share some with you if you'd like.
The smartphone industry is really going to ultra wide. I mean, take a look at the Galaxy S10e and the iPhone 11. They don't even have a telephoto lens. They have ultra wide because customers, I guess more or less, want ultra wide. I mean, if customers wanted like telephoto that bad, right, it would be stupid for companies to not include it because customers want it. So everyone likes ultra wide. You can get a very unique perspective. You can add more emotion to a photo. You can add, a whole new kind of looking photo. And don't say, Mark, just take a panorama. Oh my God, no, that's not the same thing at all. You can't compare them at all. So let's talk about the cameras that this phone does have. The back camera is a 12.2 megapixel f1.7 as your main lens, and it also has a 16 megapixel f2.4 as the telephoto lens. The photos that the main lens takes are awesome. They're fantastic. It's the typical Google Pixel photos. The colors are nice and punchy, very contrasty. The photos are very sharp, and it does a pretty good job of noise reduction. The telephoto lens is what many people will be shocked at. It's very good. If you pair up a 2x telephoto and Google Super Res Zoom, you will get a crazy good looking photo even at 8x. But see, at that point, I wish Google just went all out and added a 5x telephoto lens, because I hate clocks. Why do clocks make noise? Are you done? Yep, cool. So yeah, let's continue before I was rudely interrupted by 10 a.m. Yeah, I wish Google just implemented a 5x telephoto, because at the moment we can only digitally zoom in 8 times, which is even less than the iPhone. So you know, if Google implemented a 5x zoom optically, then they could have made it digitally zoom in 15 times, maybe 30 times. I don't know. I just think if they're gonna do telephoto, they might as well go all out on it, not just 8x, you know? I mean, but it's good though. It's really good 8x. Now, the biggest downside to this phone in terms of cameras is video. That shouldn't be a shocker. The video is okay. The front camera does 1080p and the rear camera does 4K, maximum at 30 frames per second. No 4K 60. And Google's response to that, oh my God, this cracked me up when I first saw it. Google's response to not adding 4K 60 is that it takes up too much space. Yep. That's, I'm not kidding. If I can find it, I will post a screenshot right here. But yeah, Google, oh boy. Gee, if there was any way to help solve that issue, I don't know, maybe just a thought, you know, add more storage. So the last thing I want to talk about is the forehead. And no, not my forehead, this forehead. Why it's so, was it on? Oh, it is on. Yeah, let's talk about why this forehead is so big. Again, not my forehead, this forehead. So the Pixel 4 and XL have a Soli radar chip, and it's pretty much a radar sensor that has, or that pretty much outputs a little bubble over the phone. If your hand enters that bubble, it's gonna interact with the phone. Unfortunately, the only thing it can really do is swipe through songs, ignore phone calls, snooze alarms, and that's it, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I was wrong. And if you're reaching the phone, it's gonna turn on the phone before your hand touches it, so face unlock works quicker. But I have it off right now, and look how quick it works, even with motion sense turned off. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna click a button, and it's in. You guys can't, yeah. So let me do that again. It works. It works very good. Even with motion sense turned off, it's still faster than Face ID on the iPhone. Now, here is another downside. The phone is now off, right? Yeah. The screen's off. Check this out. Fellas, if you got something to hide from your girl, or ladies, if you got something to hide from your guy, ooh, I don't know, you might want to use a PIN code, because yeah, this thing unlocks. It's so good that it unlocks with your eyes closed. I guess that's the new meme catchphrase of the Face ID or Face Unlock on the Google Pixel. Google is working on a software update. They say it's going to take a few months, which, what are you doing? Are you building a space shuttle? Why is it going to take a few months to fix a simple toggle to make sure your eyes are open? I don't know. Maybe it is more complicated than I make it out to be. I'm not an engineer. So, all right, Google, do your thing. All jokes aside, I think Soli is pretty cool. If you have the phone propped up, you know, in your car and you're listening to music, you do this to swipe a swipe a thong. What the hell? If you swipe a song, yeah, I guess it's cool. But I mean, I use steering wheel controls to change music. I mean, it's just not for me. Soli radar motion sense technology at the moment is not for me. When Google adds this to change volume, or at the very least, do this to pause a song, yeah, okay, maybe I could be like, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. But at the moment, really, this thing almost does what the Galaxy S4 did. I mean, I don't know. The Google Pixel 4 and 4 XL are fantastic phones. I can't say they're bad, but what I can say is that they are overpriced. Google charges $100 to go from 64 gig to 128 gig. iPhone 11, starting at already $100 cheaper, charges only $50 to upgrade up to 128 gig. And you have the 256 gigabyte option even on the cheaper iPhone 11. I gotta say, the Google Pixel 4 and XL are a super hard sell. They are good phones. Nothing wrong with them. But for the price, I don't know. If you are a hardcore Google, fanboy, not fanboy, but yeah, maybe fanboy. If you love Google, you want the best of the best from Google, this phone is amazing. It truly is amazing. It's just overpriced. If the phone was $100 cheaper at retail, I would be like, yeah, it's good, it's competitive, it's nice, it'll save you $100. Go for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Google Pixel 4 XL. If you guys want to see a ton of comparisons between the 4 XL, between the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the OnePlus 7T, the S10 Plus, the Note 10 Plus, and the Pixel 3a, stay tuned. There's gonna be a ton of videos coming up. In fact, there's gonna be too many videos coming up. So yeah, subscribe if you are new here, and like the video if this video was, I don't know, cool, I guess. So yeah, take care. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.